Iran is a very bad regime. No discussion about that. I disagree with them on a lot of topics. But I don't believe that we will fix the situation just by bombings or by military operations. Look at what happened with this type of operation in Iraq.
Gas is over $4 a gallon. American fighter jets are being shot down over Iran. The Strait of Hormuz, the single most important oil waterway on the entire planet, is locked down. Markets are crashing, missiles are running out. Tens of thousands of babies could lose their American citizenship, and the President of the United States, he's gone, missing, in executive time. I'm not exaggerating. We're going to walk through every single piece of this with evidence, with sources, and with the truth. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is happening to America right now and exactly why it affects you personally. Stay with me. This is the most important thing you'll watch today. Welcome back. If you're new here, we do something different on this channel. We don't do spin. We don't do party lines. We go through the actual evidence, cite the actual sources, and tell you what's actually happening. Today, we're covering 3 massive stories that are all happening simultaneously, and they are all connected to one person, Donald Trump. Number 1, Trump's war with Iran is catastrophically spiraling. Number 2, the global oil crisis is about to hit your wallet harder than anything since the 1970s. And number 3, the Supreme Court just heard the most important immigration case in 150 years, and Trump sat in that courtroom and watched it happen. Let's start from the top. Let's start with what should terrify every American regardless of your politics. The United States is actively at war. American soldiers are in the field. American jets are in the air. American bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia are being hit by Iranian drone strikes. And the President of the United States has not held a single press conference. He has not made a single unscripted public appearance. The White House press corps, the journalists whose literal job is to ask the president questions, have been called a lid. That means they've been sent home. No access, no questions, nothing. What has Trump done instead? He's been posting on Truth Social. One post said, and I'm quoting directly here, "Remember when I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal or open up the Hormuz Strait? Time is running out, 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them." And then, I want you to appreciate this, he misspelled rain. He wrote R-E-I-G-N, rain, like a monarch, which might actually be appropriate. Another post claimed he got 96% approval at CPAC, the far-right convention, as though that's relevant when American pilots are being shot down. And another post, he's talking about immigration. If you import the third world, you become the third world. His words. Meanwhile, White House staffers confirmed he's been in the Oval Office with his national security team. The Marine sentry was seen standing guard outside the West Wing from 5 p.m. straight through the entire night. His official schedule, which the White House is legally required to publish, just says executive time while America burns. Now let's talk about the actual war, because what you're hearing from the White House and what is actually happening on the ground are 2 very different things. Trump has been saying, and I quote, that Iran's military has been effectively decimated. He said they don't have any real capabilities left to strike at us. He compared their military power to a BB gun. But here's what actually happened in the last week. An American F-15E fighter jet and an A-10 aircraft were shot down over Iran. 2 American military helicopters were severely damaged. That's 4 American aircraft taken out of the sky by a military that supposedly can't fight back. Iran, in retaliation for American strikes launched from Kuwait, hit Kuwait's Ministry of Oil building with drone strikes. You can see the footage of it on fire. They hit Kuwait's Ministry of Electricity and Water. They knocked 2 Kuwaiti power generation units completely offline. Then they hit Bahrain. The Bapco Energy Refinery Complex, one of Bahrain's most critical energy facilities, was struck. Witnesses reported a missile or drone hit with visible flames and thick black smoke. And according to a bombshell report from Bloomberg, which we'll link in the description, the United States is now nearly out of its JASSM-ER cruise missiles. These are America's most advanced stealth cruise missiles. Before the war, we had 2,300 of them. After the next planned round of strikes, we'll have approximately 425 left for the entire rest of the world. As military analyst Kelly Griego noted, when does the United States lose conventional deterrence against China? We may be edging dangerously close. Now, I want to talk about something that is going to affect every single person watching this video. Not just people in the Middle East, not just people in the military, every single American. The Strait of Hormuz. For those who don't know, the Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway between Iran and Oman. Before this war began, approximately 20 million barrels of oil passed through that strait every single day. That is roughly 20% of all the oil that moves on planet Earth. It is the single most important choke point in the global energy system. Iran has effectively shut it down. According to reporting from CNBC and Bloomberg, both linked in the description, here's what that has done to oil prices. Before the Iran war began, crude oil was trading at roughly $68 a barrel. Today, it's at $111 a barrel. That's a 63% increase in 1 month. Gas prices in America have now passed $4 a gallon nationwide for the first time since 2022. Diesel is averaging $5.51 a gallon, and analysts, serious people at Goldman Sachs, TD Securities, UBS, and Rystad Energy are now projecting that if the strait stays shut, we could see oil hit $150 to $200 a barrel. Think about what that means for your life. Gas, groceries, plastic goods, airline tickets, delivery costs, heating bills, everything runs on oil. Everything. Here's the thing that makes it even more frightening. In his speech to the nation on April 1st, which, yes, happened on April Fool's Day, Trump literally told America's allies to go handle the strait themselves. His actual words were, "Build up some delayed courage, go to the strait, and just take it." He told America's allies, who did not join this war, to handle the most militarily defended strait in the world on their own. And he said this without a single plan for how the U.S. would actually reopen it. Now we need to talk about what happened at the Supreme Court on April 1st, the same day Trump was giving his Iran war speech. Because while all of this military chaos was happening, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in what may be the most consequential constitutional case in a generation. The case is called Barbara vs. Trump, and it is about one question. Can the President of the United States end birthright citizenship with a stroke of a pen? Let me give you some background. On January 20th, 2025, his very first day back in office, Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14160. The order declared that babies born in the United States would no longer automatically be American citizens if their parents were undocumented immigrants or if their parents were here on temporary visas like student visas, work visas, or tourist visas. The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution has said, for 158 years, that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. And the Supreme Court confirmed in 1898 in the landmark United States versus Wong Kim Ark case that, yes, this means everyone born here. Every single federal court that has looked at Trump's executive order has struck it down. Multiple federal judges, including Republican-appointed judges, called it blatantly unconstitutional. But here's where it gets remarkable. On April 1st, 2026, Donald Trump sat in the Supreme Court in person to watch his own case. He is believed to be the first sitting president to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court in modern history. He was there for approximately 90 minutes. He glowered. He watched. He left before his own Solicitor General finished arguing. And what happened in that courtroom? The justices, including the ones he appointed, ripped his argument apart. Chief Justice John Roberts, when told by Trump's Solicitor General that we're in a new world since the 14th Amendment was written, responded simply, "It's the same Constitution." Justice Brett Kavanaugh, a Trump appointee, pressed hard on why Congress repeatedly used the same subject to the jurisdiction thereof language across multiple decades without ever trying to narrow it. Justice Neil Gorsuch, another Trump appointee, asked pointed questions about whether Native Americans would even be citizens under the Trump administration's legal theory. And minutes after leaving the courtroom, Trump posted on Truth Social, "We are the only country in the world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship." For the record, that is factually incorrect. There are approximately 33 other countries, including Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina, that also have birthright citizenship. Here's something that almost nobody is talking about, and it's deeply concerning. Planet Labs is one of the most important commercial satellite imagery companies in the world. When something happens anywhere on Earth, a military strike, an explosion, a base being hit, Planet Labs is often how journalists and researchers verify it. They provide the satellite photos that tell us what is actually happening. According to investigative reporting, the Trump administration has asked all imagery providers to indefinitely withhold satellite images from the Iran war zone. This blackout reportedly covers not just Iran itself, but also Gaza, Lebanon, and the Gulf states where American military bases are located. Think about what that means. The Trump administration is actively preventing the American public and the world from seeing the satellite evidence of what this war is doing to American bases, to civilian infrastructure, to the wider region. Former Obama national security official Ben Rhodes put it plainly. The Trump administration is going to great lengths to hide the damage of this war, but they still expect you to pay for it. This is a pattern we've seen before. Control the information, control the narrative, keep the public in the dark while the bill comes due. So where does all of this go from here? Let's talk about the realistic scenarios. On the Iran war front, Trump extended his pause on attacking Iranian energy facilities to April 6th. That pause is now ending. According to multiple reports, Trump's top advisors, then including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, are pushing him to hit Iran's power plants, road networks, and bridges. Iran has already warned that if this happens, it will go, their word, scorched earth on the entire region. That means strikes on Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE at a scale we haven't seen yet. A UN Security Council vote was scheduled to take place on a resolution to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but the resolution was watered down significantly after China and Russia refused to authorize military force. The final draft only permits defensive action, which realistically changes very little. On the oil front, analysts at Rystad Energy, Goldman Sachs, and TD Securities are all warning that the world is running out of time. Emergency oil stockpiles that the IEA released are being drawn down. If the strait stays shut through August, which Iran has shown every intention of keeping it, global oil inventories could fall to multi-year lows, triggering a supply shock that pushes prices to historic levels. And on the Supreme Court front, a ruling is expected by late June or early July 2026. If the court upholds Trump's executive order, tens of thousands of babies born every month in the United States could potentially lose automatic citizenship. If they strike it down, which based on what we saw in those oral arguments appears far more likely, Trump's signature immigration policy takes a massive legal defeat. One more number I want to leave you with. While all of this is happening, the war, the oil crisis, the constitutional battles, Trump submitted a budget request to Congress asking for $377 million in taxpayer money for White House renovations. That is an 866% increase from the prior year. He also wants $1.5 trillion for defense spending while cutting health care, low-income housing, and small business programs. This is where we are. This is what's happening, and this affects every single one of us. Let me be very clear about something before I go. We're not here to tell you what to think. We're not here to push an agenda. Every claim in this video has a source. They're all in the description. I encourage you to read them yourself, all of them. Go to NPR, CNBC, Bloomberg, SCOTUS blog. Read the actual court transcripts. Look at the actual data. Because the most dangerous thing in a time like this is not the news itself, it's being uninformed about it. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Subscribe if you want daily breakdowns like this one, and drop a comment below. Tell me what you think is the most important story we covered today. I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay sharp.